Nearly 5,000 people have now died from Ebola in West Africa. A handful of Americans who've contracted the virus in that part of the world have been fortunate enough to be flown home for treatment and survive. As of tonight, the quarantine for Dr. Nancy Snyderman and her team is over, and we are pleased to report that our cameraman, Ashoka Mupko, is now out of the hospital tonight. He is able to share his story with NBC's Kate Snow.
Do you do hugs at all?
For the first time, Ashoka Mupko got to see the faces of some of the 60 medical workers who had cared for him with no protective gear in the way.
I'm Frank. Hey, I brought you a lot of ginger ale.
We met up with him a little while later.
I am just so fortunate to be alive, and every breath I take, every step I take is just a reminder of how valuable and precious life is.
Ashoka had been back in Liberia for several weeks and worked with our NBC News crew, including Dr. Nancy Snyderman, for 2 days. On the start of that second day, he says he felt fine, but after lunch, his back started to ache, so he stopped at his apartment.
I put that thermometer in my mouth, and that thing came up 101.3, and that was just it. That was that moment, you know.
101.3.
101.3, and I didn't really feel feverish.
People might wonder, though, why, they might think, okay, if you were starting to feel funny, why were you working? Why would you put other people at risk?
The moment I started to feel funny, I went home. I mean, there was a 5-minute period, literally 5 to 10 minute period between the first moment that I thought, what's that? And I had a thermometer in my mouth.
Do you know how you contracted Ebola?
I mean, that's the million-dollar question. And unfortunately, there's not a satisfactory answer for it. The best thing that I can say is that there was a period of time, about a week, that I was working with various news organizations. And in the course of that week, I was at Ebola treatment units, I was following burial teams, I was with ambulance drivers.
Was that the week before you joined up with the NBC team?
Yeah, it was a week. It was about a week beforehand.
His parents had begged him not to go back to Liberia, but he says he has no regrets, despite all he's been through.
Your life is hanging by a thread. It makes me remember a lot of these people that I filmed, a lot of these people that I talked to, and to kind of connect with the kind of fear that they must have felt. And, there's almost no words for that. You feel like this is 2014. We can't be seeing this happen to human beings right now. We got to do better. We really got to do better.
Some more good news to share, though, tonight about one of the nurses from Dallas being treated at Emory University Hospital, Amber Vinson. We learned from her family that she's had blood tests done and shows negative for Ebola. She's been moved to a new room within the isolation unit there. Her family saying they're overjoyed that she's one step closer, Brian, to going home.
Nice to report. Good news all around. Kate Snow with that from Omaha tonight. Kate, thanks.